Hello, welcome back to the channel.
You're watching Shane and Anne van life. In this video we install a solar panel on Fergus and we do major updates to the kitchen.
So stay tuned and see how we get on with these upgrades.
Yeah, right, stop.
Even more. So our leisure battery is going to be sitting around here, and then for charging it we're going to have a split charge relay. So we have this cable will be running to our leisure battery, and then that is connected to our battery in the van here, and that is going to be fused, and then that comes down to the van through this cable and then into our split charge relay, which will be mounted right here. So we originally were going to use the old cooker and the old sink that came with the van, but it was just going to be very tricky fitting the sink in alongside the hub, and for the hub we were going to have to get a metal shield so it wouldn't burn the carpet or the seat around it. So I went for this smev option that has lift up glass lids, so that will protect the carpet at the back, and then it also has the sink here beside it. Let's put in the van, see how it looks. So we have our worktop here, and we have the drawings out of where we're going to cut out for our hob and our sink. So now it's time to cut out the sink.
First, we started by drilling out some holes so we could cut out the shape for the sink. The sink didn't come with clamps, so we had to lift some blocks to help support the sink. Once that was done, the shape fell out and we had a few small adjustments to make. At first, it didn't fit perfectly. As you see, we are struggling. We routed the edges to make it fit. The rest of the pieces were much simpler. We drew the cutting lines, cut them, routed and sanded. Once they were done, it was time for spraying. We've got a cat in the van. Trixie. Well, do you like it? Do you like the collar? Okay. Bye.
I've taken the main hookup point off and I've wired it in, so now it's time to feed the wire through the van, which then it will be wired up into the plug socket. So I actually think we made a mistake. We went for this 120 watt eco-worthy solar panel, but we were going to get the one that is more flexible so it'd be able to take the shape of the roof, but other people said that it wasn't as efficient as the solid ones, so we decided to go for a solid one. But in my opinion, I think we should have went for the other one because it leaves such a high gap from the roof, and because this fan is such a low van, you can see such a big gap. See if we get power already.
Ooh. Nice.
Now you've seen how easy it is to connect up the solar panel. It's only two cables, a positive and a negative. Connect up into the control panel and then take two wires from that straight into your battery, and then that is the wiring of the solar panel done. So now the next step is to actually get it mounted up on top of the roof. We went for the flexible one, as you saw a couple of clips earlier. We originally bought the solid one, but it looked a mess on top of the roof, so we went for the slimline flexible one that will just mold to the shape of the roof, and then nobody will fit to see it and it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. So now once we get that mounted, we're going to run the cable along here somewhere and take it down into around the battery area, and in there we're going to mount the control panel, and then we can just connect up our two wires and then connect up to our battery. So let's get on with that there. Hopefully it's a handy enough process, so let's get on and we'll see how we get on. So finally the two wires are pulled through, the positive and the negative, and they come out here. So when it comes to time of installation, they are just going to be taken up like that over to here, where they are going to connect up with the rest of the solar panel. Okay, so the solar panel now is roughly in place. We just have to stick it down, and for that we're going to be using some Gorilla Tape. So we didn't know if we should use Gorilla Tape or some silicone, and a lot of people online use a little bit of silicone with Gorilla Tape, so we're just going to put a small bit of silicone underneath the panel just to give it grip, but then we're going to use the Gorilla Tape to go along all the edges just to keep from air getting under it when we're driving. And then when we move over to this here, just before we set everything in place, we're going to make sure and silicone this here so it's watertight and no water gets into the van. So let's get the solar panel in shape, get it straightened up, and then we get it stuck down with some Gorilla Tape. I'm just going to be using some of this silicone that I got for attaching solar panels. So once Annie's finished with that there, we're going to get to work at So now we've got our worktop back, it's all lacquered up and it's all sealed, so it's not going to bow or anything. So now it's time to put that on top of the kitchen and then install our sink on our hob. So let's throw it on here and we'll set the sink and hob into it. So this is our smev sink and hob that we decided to buy instead of the old ones, so we're going to fit it in. So now that the sink is just roughly in place, it's going to have to be put a rubber seal around it. It's going to have to be screwed down. We have to take all this masking tape off, but it's roughly in place for the moment. Before we were going to use the old round sink that came in the van, and it had like an old micro switch tap on it. Wasn't really a big fan of it. We wanted to actually make our own tap out of copper piping, but because we have this here now, we're not able to make it out of copper piping, because right down in here they have a 33mm hole cut out for our tap, so we had to go and buy another tap and we bought this here from Cozy Campers in Dublin, same place where we bought the sink. So this is the tap that we went for. It's I'm not too sure on the make of it, but it fits all smev sinks. So basically it's a micro switch. When you lift this lever, it activates the water pump, and then your water hose will be connected onto this, that will run down in underneath the sink, connected to our fresh water tank. And then you have your 2 wires coming out of it here that will be wired up to your water pump that we have to install yet, and then we'll have fresh running water in the van. So that simply just slides down there like that, and the tap is adjustable, so you can lift it up and down to close the lid. So there you have it. The kitchen is coming very close to being finished. Just a few more things to be done, and then we will be well on the way to having our kitchen fully complete. We just have to plumb up our sink, wire up our gas hob, and then we can connect the gas up with the gas bottle is right down in here. Right behind me here is where our fridge is going to go. So once that is installed, again, it's only 2 simple wires to run straight back to our leisure battery, and then we'll have sink, hob, fridge, all that we need to live in a tiny van. So all that's going to be in the next video, so stay tuned for that there. So there you have it, guys. That's another video of Fergus. We've installed the solar panel on the roof. The kitchen is getting almost complete. We have the worktops in, we have the new sink and the hob in as well, and in the next video we're going to be wiring up the hob and getting water to the sink. So then we're going to eventually have running water and electricity in the van, so we can cook and clean and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up in the next video. Then after that we have the final reveal of Fergus and the brand new van tour, so make sure you don't miss that there. So that's it for me. Thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video, and as always, like, share, comment, helps the channel out a lot, and we'll catch you then. Bye.